Hi, this is Connie Podesta. Welcome to my home, and I want to introduce you to my cameraman, Fred. Say hello.
Hello.
So, Emily and friends, you asked me to tell you one thing that the person behind the camera would not know about me. So let's start with that, Fred. Fred, let's pretend that you won the lottery and my home was your prize.
Sweet.
What would you say?
I love it.
As is.
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you there's a little work that needs to be done?
No big deal.
Because you've been here once, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you're fine with that?
Oh.
Step on and let's see what you just won. So here we are, Fred. Welcome to your new home. Let's see what you think.
Wow.
Wow. Wow is
What?
right.
What?
Does it look
What
a little
happened?
different?
No. Yeah.
Well, my husband and I were sitting right here in these two chairs watching TV a few weeks ago. All of a sudden we looked up, smoke, fire, left, and 3 hours later, honestly, 90% of everything we own was gone.
Wow.
Fred.
Sorry, this is not what I expected.
Fred, I'm up here. You know what? It's not what you expected. I will tell you this. It's not what we expected either. You know, that's what's so interesting about the topic trust, because trust means something you can count on, something you can rely on, something you can be sure of. But the problem is there are no guarantees. You can be sitting watching TV 1 minute and lose everything you have 3 hours later. But it isn't about the betrayal, or it isn't about the tragedy. You know what it's about? It's about us. It's about how we react when life doesn't go the way we want it. That's what this show is about, resilience. You ready to learn more about trust?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. I'll meet you downstairs.
All right, Connie, knowing you certainly have the credentials to talk about this subject.
No, I think I do. You know, as a reality therapist, a comedian, a motivational speaker, an author, I've spent all of my life around this subject of helping people help themselves. And here's what's so cool about this show, Fred. I love it. Whether they pick me or not, I'm going to tell 100,000 people I talk to a year to watch it. I'm going to watch it because unlike shows that are somewhat limiting, like let's just take weight. Some people need to watch a show on weight or need to watch a show on parenting, others don't. There's not a person, there's not a single human being that I have met in my audiences, in private practice, in coaching, that does not have at least one experience in their life that involves a betrayal of their trust. So, how do I deal with issues around trust? First of all, it's understanding the cycle. So let's understand my cycle here, because wouldn't you agree, Fred, that I have a right to be angry about this fire?
Yeah.
Sure. And would you agree that I have a right to be sad about this fire?
Sure.
Those are the go-to emotions when someone lets us down, or even when we let ourselves down. We get angry, we get sad, and they're legitimate emotions. But here's what happens. Some people get stuck in those emotions. They're no longer a person that had an experience that they're angry about, or a person that had an experience that they're now sad about. They become an angry person, or they become a sad person. The emotions begin to define them. And that's when people get into trouble. So I try to help people understand that there's other choices, that we don't have to let these experiences change and define who we're going to be. Now, one of the questions they asked me, Fred, is to talk about the challenges of this job. Well, that's the challenges. It's amazing, but psychologically, people fight for their limitations, which means that when I'm talking to somebody and they're so angry or they're so sad about something that happened, and I try to get them out, try to move them forward, they will justify, they will fight. They'll say to me, I have a right to be angry, or they'll say, I have a right to be sad. And it's true, they do, just like I do here. But the challenge is for me to help people understand that they also have a right to be happy. My goal would be when the day comes and people fight for that right. I mean, I would love to have people say, you know what? I am not going to be angry. I'm not going to be sad because, darn it, I have a right to be happy. And that's kind of what I did here. Here's how the brain works. If I let myself be angry and sad, then my brain is so busy trying to survive, trying to get me through the anger and the sadness, that I'll never have a creative thought. I'll never have a positive thought. I'll never even be able to think of how to get out of this. So my husband and I, when we stood in the yard and we watched the house burn, we held hands and we made a choice. This will not define us. And it can't define the people that we're watching. This show has to be about not what they experienced, It has to be about what they do with that experience and how they choose to react to that experience. One of the things that you asked Emily and your team is you asked me to tell you what was the most rewarding about my job. You asked me to tell me what I love the most about my job. You asked me to tell you what I'm the most passionate about. Those are all the same questions to me. Why do I love what I do? You know, even when I was doing private practice, it was only one person. I could help one person, or I could help one family. To be able to talk to 100,000 people, or to do a TV show like this that could reach possibly millions, what an amazing gift. How rewarding is that? What do I love the most? I love seeing people who choose to not be angry anymore, or they choose not to be sad anymore. They choose happiness. They fight for the right to be a person who had a horrendous experience, but it's not going to define who they are. You know, one of the questions you asked me is, would I be perfect for this show? I think it's the wrong question. I don't think it's finding someone who's perfect for the show, because I think we've misplaced who the star is. I think the better question is to ask who's perfect for this audience. The show is just a vehicle. The audience is the star, and I am perfect for your audience. I spoke last week to 12,000 people, and within 12 hours we had 1,000 hits on Facebook, 450 comments. You can go online, read last Friday, and see the connection, because I have a connection with people. I understand. I don't talk down to them. I'm not the big expert. I've had tragedy. This isn't the only tragedy I've had in my life. I've had so many things happen, but I believe in resilience, and I believe in the spirit of humankind, and I believe that people do not have to be their worst enemies. You asked me to tell you my age. Shame on you. Seriously, you're going to ask me to tell you my age? I will tell you this. I'm probably older than all of you watching this tape. Good for me, because you probably need that experience. I'm young at heart. I'm probably younger and could run circles around a lot of you on your crew. So I bring the wisdom and experience of age, but I also have tons of energy, tons of creativity, and I know exactly where I want this to go. So this is about character. Isn't this show about character? Because I define character is not how we act when things go the way we want to. This isn't the way I want it. Character is about how we act when our life is so far from what we had planned that we can barely breathe. I see this show being about human spirit. I see this show being about connecting with people who thought their life was over, connecting with people who experience something that they don't think they can ever get beyond. I see this show about compassion and about love, but tough love. I see this show being about taking people where they are and not allowing them to fight for anger and fight for sadness, but encouraging them, loving them, caring enough, showing them the way that they can fight for happiness. A lot of people look at this and they've said, Connie, we're so sorry you lost your home. And I look around here, and as I'm standing here right now, and I have all these memories, and all I can say to you is, I didn't lose my home. I lost my house, but nothing can happen to me that will cause me to lose my home. I will always have that. So, here's what I trust. I trust I can count on you to pick me. I trust that I can count on you to see that I could be a connective part of this show that could really make a difference. I'm going to count on you, and I'm going to be sure that I'm going to get a call. I'm easy to work with, I'm fun, but more than that, I think I know your audience. For 40 years, I've learned about your audience. And for 40 years, I've lived people who have felt sad and betrayed. And I will tell you this, you're in good hands with me.